Everybody is, though?
We are officially going, I think.
Oh, goody.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the unofficial Work in Progress video podcast, episode 0. I'm not going to commit to this being a real episode yet, because this might be a fucking train wreck.
Episode.
We are trying out something fascinatingly new and different this week, and maybe for the rest of eternity. So,
The rest of our lives.
all that said, if you are watching this, you may have noticed that you can now see our faces, probably in slow-ass stop motion, like an Aardman feature.
Me especially.
Ian especially, because he's very far away. He's so far away that the internet is weakening. So, I can't do starting on my left anymore, because God knows how that works. Introduce yourselves in alphabetical
you should name the
order.
city, bro. You should, starting with...
Okay, yeah.
Oh, that's good.
In Los Angeles, California, we have...
Ian.
All right. See, how great was that? In St. Louis, Missouri,
We have Mark.
and in Bonner Springs, Missouri. Is that correct?
It's Kansas City.
No, it's Kansas
Somewhere
City.
fucking Missouri.
Somewhere in Kansas City.
It's Chris.
Yeah. Crowd goes fucking bazonkers.
So,
Dude, my camera's
Whoa.
flashing everywhere.
welcome to whatever the fuck this is going to be.
I don't know.
It's gonna be solid gold.
It's yet
I
to be
don't see a solid timer anywhere on here, so I guess I'm just going to have to watch the clock and see how long we've been doing this, or maybe there's just a timer somewhere that I need to explore and find. But either way, welcome to this. The reason for the current situation being that Ian has left us to head west, young, whatever that phrase is, and
Young boy.
young boy, and obviously he took the beloved Caitlin Menard with him. So
I did. I put her in a box.
You could have left her.
our Springfield tried to shrink it.
Careful.
As we lost Mitch last year, obviously he's not very far away, but he's far enough away that he can't be here in person every week. So we're exploring this new venue, not only so that we can keep people like Ian and Mitch in the fold, not necessarily Tess. I live with her; that's not super much a problem. But not just so we can keep those two in the fold, but also so we can get personalities like Chris and Mark, who's never been on the podcast before.
Not a single time.
Oh my
And,
god.
you know, other people we know or other people we don't know. You know, this might be a good way for us to kind of branch out and get other people of varying interests on the podcast. So,
You're creating a
yeah.
franchise.
It's true that.
for the foreseeable future, this is probably what Work in Progress is going to look like. Hopefully, you don't find it obnoxious, viewers, listeners.
It's going to depend on how the camera flicker is with you. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I mean, even so, hopefully you'll just be able to get the audio of this. So even if you think we're all hideously ugly and this is really hard to watch, then you can just listen to us like you've been doing for almost 100 episodes. So
I dropped out for a second.
his face just left and then came back on the bottom of my screen.
This is working swimmingly. I like it already.
Yeah, well, like I said, the best thing we could possibly do is just fuck with shit on the air. So
Yeah.
True.
we're
make
learning
this
as we go here.
easy.
Hopefully this isn't too much of a train wreck. So
We're already halfway there.
with that, I guess we'll just start treating this like a normal Work in Progress episode, and I'll just ask you guys what's going on in y'all's lives. Someone tell me something interesting.
So, I've never actually done this before,
I
so
can't.
you have
You've
to...
really never been on one of the.
You've never been on
podcast?
one.
No, nope.
Have
I
you
mean, I
listened
was
to
never
them?
opposed to it. Somebody didn't invite me, so don't ask, don't put this on me.
I blame Jake.
I blame Jake.
Yeah,
Uh,
Jake. I don't know when the
I'm
last time he's been
impartial.
on this has, but this is your fault.
It is his fault. Shit. Ian, you're in California. Talk about being in California. I'm gonna fiddle with buttons.
There's weed everywhere.
Pot everywhere.
Weed and sunshine, as far as the eye can see. Seriously, it is like there were some clouds today, and that was cause for alarm. It was nuts. I'm serious, blue sky and the sun. That is it, all the time, all the time.
Maybe that's why your state has no water. Probably.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
at all.
Yeah, what's it like having no water?
That must be weird, right?
Actually, I mean, that really hasn't been an issue. You see a lot of ads that are like, hey, you should invest in water-efficient landscaping and stuff like that, but nothing that's like, oh, you are required by law to only use this much water. Like, that's never really been an issue. And if that is some sort of restriction, we haven't met it, and we're still basically using water just as much as we did when we were in Missouri, so...
I have a lower third, but it's like backwards, and I don't know why.
It looks fine to me.
Looks on mine.
Oh, it's
That's
backwards
awesome.
to me. If it looks cool to you guys, that's cool.
Why is it backwards for you?
I don't
That doesn't
know.
make sense.
It's backwards though.
And
You need to add a title like Andrew, Lord of the Vaginas, or
Puss
something.
Crusher 44.
2014.
Yeah, there you go.
like that.
So he's Puss Crusher Lord.
Fan fucking tastic.
If you guys want, after this is over, I can teach you guys how to set those up.
Yes,
Oh,
Maybe
God,
we'll have
yes.
them in the future.
I change mine every week.
right?
Yep.
Yeah, we
Change
can make
it every minute.
You can make great running jokes out of it. So there's that. I'm going to change this one now though because I'm already just completely ashamed of that.
You should be.
So yeah, you can even like choose the picture. Like it doesn't even have to be the work in progress logo. Let me find something more
What if it
interesting.
was just a dick? And then oh god,
It could
Chris,
just be
now-
a dick, but this is on YouTube, so probably
Fair point. Just
that's
blur
a
it
real
out.
good way to get us in bad standing with YouTube.
To be fair, this thing's so pixelated, you wouldn't be able to tell it's a penis anyway, right? I mean,
It's true. It would already be blurred out.
it already
We're
be
self-censoring.
doing the censoring for us. Chris, what the hell are you doing?
I don't know anymore.
Man, technology has come so far.
This is the future is now.
I wanted to go away.
I don't want to be a puppy pirate anymore.
I love how we're just completely anyone who's just gonna listen to this has already just lost it for
Yeah,
this.
audio
like,
podcast is out.
this entire episode's just gonna be focused on how fucking ridiculous we'll make this look, and you know,
I like
in the
that you
future,
had
you'll-
like what
you'll watch
grease
this on YouTube.
behind you.
I
Yeah.
what now?
I was on a
Happens.
trip.
He was over hanging out at the Parthenon as a
You
dog
know.
pirate. Whatever.
But it was refined. He had a monocle.
Totally. I mean, that means you're a sorcerer, right? Or a wizard or some shit?
He started off as a
Wizard.
gentleman, but he was abducted by pirates as a child.
And raised by them.
Mm-hmm.
Life's very hard for me here in pretend cartoon Greece.
Do I hear crickets?
Did you guys hear a cricket? Because I
Yes.
It sounds like
Great.
production value is going through the goddamn roof on
You
this show.
sound like one of those assholes on the radio with a soundboard.
Yeah. That's what I'm
Now
gonna do now.
This is Mike and the Sausage.
we're at
I'll go
a
live.
That's the worst sounding fucking.
Oh, dude, Chris is hanging out in Venice. You see that shit? That's cool.
Yeah, Chris, live from Venice.
How's Venice, Spectral Chris?
Well, I gotta say, I would have thought that there'd be more of me here. After all, there's more of me literally everywhere else, so I figured I would have been the same in Venice. I don't
Any
know.
country.
In literally any country.
God damn it.
Man, I'm bombing today.
I love that I've just got sound effects that I can like torture you guys with.
Get some
I love how they're
That
like,
joke sucked. Here come the crickets. Or you know, if you tell a good one,
Oh!
no shot there. Look at the world of magic I have at my fingertips.
It's like how my face just keeps switching between just a face looking at the computer and somebody drinking beer, and that's basically it. You know, reporting in.
This is fantastic. This is the best podcast we've had in so long.
not wrong. He's not wrong.
Oh, I can change my camera up a little bit. This is fascinating.
Is that
You
Batman
bet.
putting me off? Wait, how long's that been there?
It's been there for like 5 minutes now.
How long have you been Batman?
And now I'm in black and white to really play up the tortured bad boy thing.
Now you have to talk in like noir fashion, right?
No.
No, fuck
So,
Nope, not even gonna do it. Not gonna try.
Moderated.
Good lord.
Oh well.
So-
We were talking about California.
Sorry.
Not
No,
too.
man, I told you. Weed and sunshine. That's basically it. No, like, everywhere. Did I lose you again? Andrew
No.
Hart opened captured
What the
smile.
fuck does that mean?
Oh my god, what am I doing?
No.
I'm just gonna hit the X button and hope for the best.
What's happening?
Am I still here? Alright,
I
we're
don't
cool.
know. I'm
You hit
sorry
the
I hit the
buttons
button, whatever it was,
I'm
it was
scared.
dangerous. I wasn't ready
I'm
for that.
scared.
And now I think Chris is being captured right now. He's got a little camera thing.
He does. Chris, we're capturing you like Pokemon.
God damn it.
That's all. That's all we ever heard. Chris, are you there still?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm just
Okay.
just confused by the world of computers and the likes. So
It looks like I also have a control room where I can mute or turn off your cameras. So,
that's really cool.
if any of you ever decide to go on a racist tirade, I can shut that down. And yeah, I think I'm running out of toys here. We might actually have to just talk like normal people.
Man,
That might not be the worst, honestly. This is quickly taken over as basically a video podcast. It seems.
Well, that's kind of what we're doing here.
Yeah.
You know,
So wait,
it's not-
I can bring it. I can bring it into the next subject. I can do it. I can be
Do
that
it.
guy. Did you guys hear that EA is making a new Star Wars game that's going to be like Uncharted?
Yeah.
isn't that supposed to be like Star Wars like 22 or something like that?
1313. Yeah.
Yeah. 13,
Um,
13.
Yeah, it had a
13,
name
13.
for it. But it got canceled.
I actually haven't heard about
Yeah.
this.
But this is a new project that will be kind of similar to that. It's gonna have Nolan North, from what I understand. I think so,
Yeah.
anyway.
Love Nolan
He's
North.
Uncharted.
What a guy.
Yeah. So yeah, there's gonna be a fucking Star Wars Uncharted, and I am fully erect at that
Fully.
point in time.
No half-mast.
It's EA, so I'm not getting too excited, but you never know.
Well, come on, man.
Yeah, it
It's
made
gonna
some good
be.
stuff.
It has Amy Hennig, who
Who?
wrote. She wrote for Uncharted.
Oh.
Yeah.
So it,
Yeah.
it literally is. It's just Star Wars Uncharted.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
just
I mean-
scanned over the first game and updated the graphics a little bit, but yeah.
Unstarted.
Unstarted.
Uh,
Bum, bum.
No,
That
for those
sucks.
crickets.
Where's that?
Where are those crickets?
Cue the crickets quick.
Ooh, silence. But I don't know, man. That
Rough.
sounds sexy.
Rough
I'm
crowd.
excited.
Yeah, it could be cool. I'm reasonably jacked.
Yeah, I admit I've never
Jack.
actually played the Uncharted games just because I've always been the Xbox. I only have enough money to afford one console, so Uncharted has been one of the ones that has always interested me, but I've never actually been
Has
able to
eluded
play.
you.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those
You
ones that
would
have
lose
eluded
the
me.
fuck out.
Good thing you
Yeah,
cut
I
out because I think you just cursed me out. I don't know what just happened.
You motherfucker.
You motherfucker.
Something's liking me down here. The important part is I really like those games,
Good.
Thank you also,
and
Batman.
I'm excited to play them again because the trilogy remake comes out on PS4 next year or this year. This year. Oh god.
There goes more of your money.
Man,
Yeah,
this year's already.
At one point, I was really excited about that, but now I'm like, there's a lot of actual new games coming out this fall instead that I'll probably just buy.
I gotta buy Fallout. I gotta buy Battlefront.
Battlefield, man. Yeah.
Probably gonna buy the new Tomb Raider at some point after I
Fuck
play
yeah.
the first one.
Yeah, do that.
I probably
Rainbow Six. It's gonna be tight.
Fuck
Rainbow
yeah,
Six
Rainbow
Siege actually
Six.
looks pretty awesome. I saw gameplay of that recently, so that looks cool.
Yeah.
I have to,
Um,
get a console.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah,
gotta tackle that
feel
whole
free to-
job thing first, and then you can get a
Feel free to
console.
join us.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's gonna be tight. I'm probably not gonna pick that up anymore, at least not immediately. Now I'll probably
Yeah.
just wait until I play all the other games that come out. Of course, by the time that happens, Uncharted 4 will probably be out. I'll be like, fuck it,
Also looks cool.
here we go. Yeah, dude, it looks awesome. I was so wowed by all of the footage we've seen for it. It looks so incredible.
It
I
does.
just want to
That's
pee
gonna
a
hurt
little
the
bit.
wallet, all right. Gonna hurt the
Yeah,
wallet.
it's gonna be rough. That's at least not coming out until March or April next year, so I get to recoup a little bit.
You gotta recoup your
Before-
money.
Yeah, before Uncharted 4 and Ratchet and Clank both come out. And there goes all the money again.
Every time, man.
Madden comes out this week. I'm gonna get the new Madden game.
Yeah, I remember you put the money down for it last time we got together. I was like, what do you?
Yeah, I did. I totally pre-ordered it. I'm getting
Andrew,
pre-order bonuses.
I've totally been considering getting Madden also at some point, so I might end up bringing the Nancys back and.
Oh shit! If you're gonna do that, I will try and change my pre-order to an Xbox version instead, because I just figured no one would fucking play with me.
I'm legitimately looking at maybe getting it at some point
Oh,
because
cool. I'll
reasons.
Yeah, I'll see if I can switch my console for it then. Because even if you don't, then I just have a different console. It doesn't make any fucking difference to me. But
Right on.
just on the off chance you might get it for Xbox, I would totally.
Yeah.
I did a thing with Madden over the week. The new Madden games have like the usual simulate buttons in your franchise where it's like sim to next week, sim to playoffs, sim to off season, and in the newest one there's a sim 10, which as it turns out takes fucking forever because it still simulates like 1 week at a time, but it does 10 years. So
You
I
did a
that,
little freeze
and,
you there.
Yeah, you freezed. It looked like you froze. It looked like you were sneezing.
10 years into the future, and none of this is going to make a lot of sense to you guys because you're not huge football fans, but there was one thing in particular that stood out to me, which is the fact that in the game right now, there's one quarterback with an overall score of 99, and that's Aaron Rodgers for the Green Bay Packers, by the way.
Right.
When I simmed forward 10 years, once the simulation completed, there were 10 quarterbacks with a 99 overall. Almost
Now-
1/3 of the league apparently has like a stud-ass quarterback.
Jeez.
And
Damn.
even the ones that weren't 99, I think there were like 5 or 6 that were like in the 90s. So it's like the future of the NFL is
Yes.
every team has a superstar quarterback.
Is performance
Including
enhancing
apparently
drugs. That's
Josh
what those are.
Manziel is a piece of shit quarterback right now. So he's going to get really good, according to Matt. Really good. Ian, I love what you're doing with your face.
Thank you. I've always wanted
You're
to grow
Ian's
it out.
evil twin.
Oon.
Hi.
Nice.
Oot.
Where the fuck is the name bar? I want it.
It's you need to download the
What?
Hangout Toolbox app. I think you can do it while you're hanging out. I don't know for
Hang
sure.
out.
I did.
Box.
You need to find Hangout Toolbox. And
I have it. What is?
you
What
do it
is
in there. Go to
Oh,
fucking
lower third. I see.
yeah.
So
You
is
type in the shit you want, and then you have to turn it on, and then you're good.
What did you do to turn it? Is there a thingy for it? Or?
There's like a toggle in like the top right of the box that says lower third that should be switched to off, and now it's on. And this became Google Tech Support podcast so fast.
Yeah, welcome everyone to the first episode of the Google Hangout podcast, where we just describe things on Google Hangout and react to them appropriately.
Being
Chris
really.
has a name now. That's cool. Mark has a name.
I do. Can you not see
Ian
that?
is.
I can't see my own name.
No, I can see it.
Yep.
I'm working on it.
Is
Mark
anyone
is the
else's
cool-
backwards to just them?
Yeah, it's me. I can't. Mine is backwards to me too.
Oh, okay, cool. So that's just a common symptom. Is
Yeah.
all right. Well, I feel silly now. What were we talking? All right, 10 years in Madden. So yeah, all the quarterbacks turn really good. 2 teams moved. Fucking like Tennessee moved to Sacramento and became the Condors, and some other team moved to Houston and became the Gunners. So now Houston has 2 football teams in the future of Madden. And yeah, not that much else interesting happened except the Packers got really bad.
Oh, I'm
I got to like my 10 years end date, and like suddenly the Packers were terrible, and our quarterback was some guy named Hugh Phillip.
Who?
So you can
terrible.
basically simulate like 100 years into the future, and then everything would be completely different.
Right.
Oh yeah,
If you wanted to. I would totally have like the 2100, Madden
Maybe I'll
game.
do that with the new one. I'll set up a franchise where I take the time to sim 100 years into the future.
What's going on? Everything looks the
Sim
same.
further in
God, 100 years in
the
the
future,
future.
the game of football actually is old. Actually, football is a little over 100 years old at this point. How about that? I think the Packers will turn 100 in like 2 years.
Whoop, whoop.
Damn. That's when you can move your dome into space and have play football there.
I cannot wait for space.
Yeah, it'll be like one of the teams has moved to Mars.
Yeah, that's pretty much right.
One of the things I see.
All the way
Mars is supposed to acquire a team, be like LA.
The Mars Bears.
What was that game in
Mars,
Starship
yes.
Troopers that they played that was sort of like football, but in like a weird hockey rink with like
Rocket League.
shoes? Rocket League?
Polo.
No, not
Polo?
Rocket League. That's a game that we play on the real
Man,
world.
I miss
Kinda
Rocket
rock.
League, bro.
You should buy it and we can play together.
Buy it on what?
On
It's on the
PC.
Isn't that cross-platform? I thought that game
Yeah,
was
it has crossplay.
Oh,
you can
I
play
wonder
with PC people on PS4. It's like $20. It's kind of expensive, but fuck if it's not worth it, in my opinion.
I've heard nothing but good things about it.
It's
So.
so fucking good, man.
The downside about playing on a PS4 is that I can't type things to people. I can only work with like the given emotes that it has,
Right.
and like there's no emote to yell at people on my team with. So when someone does something really stupid, I really want an emote that says like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
But you're like, good job.
But
Thanks,
instead, I
sir.
have to just say like "OMG" or "What a shot."
When you score your own goal.
I've decided my favorite thing to do is when one of our guys elects to go back and play goalie, and he does like a shit job, like he like totally fucking botches it and it goes
Right.
in. I like to use a "what a save" emote as though I'm condescending to him.
What an
Like,
asshole.
what a save, jackass.
You really got that.
You done fucked up.
Good
I
job.
don't know if they understand it that way, but that's the way I'm using it. I also
So-
think I found calling in that game as like a keeper because I'm getting better at like playing goalie in that game. I'm just like hanging back and blocking shots.
That's how
It
we
makes me
did it,
feel
man.
like a badass.
I worked the midfield, you worked both the goals.
Yeah, well, and oh my god, I had the most cathartic moment in that game the other day. So I'm playing. We're playing 3-on-3, which is like the standard format for Rocket League, I guess. And there's this really irritating thing that some people will do, where if they see you kind of playing goalie, they'll have another guy on their team run interference and basically just run down the field and keep knocking into you and stop you from being able to like guard the goal.
Right.
Don't you
So
explode?
we get
if
to
you get-
overtime in 1-1 game, and this
Get hit when
motherfucker's
you're
harassing me. Like he's beating the shit out of me while I'm sitting in the goal, and we're kind of just playing like fucking peek and poke. We're like charging at me, and I'm like jumping over him at the last second, and we're like dancing basically. And then at one point, the ball kind of like squirts out towards the side, so I ram him really hard and knock him out of the way, and then I chase down the ball and score the winning goal. And I like to think he could like feel my rage at him, just like that's how much I hate you because I just fucking won this game because you're such an asshole to me. And it was really really nice.
It is a series of
And then
two.
the next game I
overall.
lost like nothing. Rocket League fickle mistress.
I will say,
It's an
like,
amazing fucking game though.
as I've seen with that game, there you have all the opportunity in the planet. Like, it's your oyster to either A, be the biggest fucking baller on the planet and make the coolest saves ever, or fail spectacularly and miserably and be the worst player on the planet. Like, it's either one or the other. I feel like there's not much in between.
Sometimes
It's everything to
you're
do with
both
coin
of those
flip.
things. Yeah.
Like either this is going to be amazing or terrible.
Or it's so amazing that you scored your own goal and you're like, well, shit.
It's so outrageously
I've done
awesome.
that. I did that.
It's one of my favorite games that's come out this year.
But man, we had that great fucking season before I left. Holy shit.
We had a dope season.
Oh my
The
god.
dopeness. We went on a fucking tear.
What were we? Were we the Grizzlies?
I want to say, yeah, we were using like the bear picture.
Yeah,
we were like
You're a bear
the
person.
Rays.
We just
We
had
won like 12 in a row, and then we lost like our last game of the season. So we went to the playoffs on our first loss in like 12 weeks, but then we tore through the playoffs, and it was fun.
Well, because earlier that night we had just finished off our first season that ended in heartbreak,
Heartbreak.
essentially.
Yeah, it was
we,
rough.
we were in the playoffs, and what was it? There was like a ball that was headed towards the goal, and it was inches from it. And the way
Oh, yeah.
it works in
Right as
Rocket,
time was running out.
yeah, and the way it works is like when the timer runs out, if the ball is not on the ground, the game keeps going.
Time remains eternal as long as the ball is in the air.
Yeah, and it was right at the fucking goal. Time is out, and they bumped it out, and our season was over. It was
Oh,
terrible.
It's really, it's
But
heartbreaking.
then we immediately kept playing, played a whole season, and won like everything. It was pretty fucking incredible.
Well,
We were so angry.
Was that against other people or?
No,
fucking
that was against
dope.
the AI, which when we
No, it was just
started
against
was a
computers.
fucking challenge.
Yeah, yeah. Cool. I was
The
just
AI
thinking,
is
like,
still pretty challenging. We ended up playing that season on like the 2nd difficulty level, but there's like 2 more after that.
Yeah,
God,
we
I'm
started on
scared
that
to play
other
against
one. It
those.
was great.
God help you on the other
Yeah, no.
Did not
So-
go great.
That
Isn't
that game was super tight.
Isn't there like a fucking Rocket League now? Like,
I think
there
they're
would be,
either
right?
like working on starting one up or there is one currently. Like it was, they were pretty quick to try and make like a major league gaming thing out of that, which I can see why. I mean the potential is there.
There's a lot of skill involved for sure.
Well, yeah, and fucking like actually there is so much reason to communicate with your teammates, like given the chance. Like if you can actually coordinate like on teams, like it holds a lot of value as like a cool, intense sport thing.
Hell, being on like
So
some-
I can definitely see how it would hold up as like a competitive game.
did you guys hear that in the whole esports fucking, what do they call it, like electronic sports league, they banned
yeah, the
the
ESL,
same drugs as the Olympics?
except pot.
Yeah. Pot. Also Ritalin.
Ritalin. Well, doesn't that
I
make
can
you
see that.
focus or something?
Yeah, you basically just zero in on one particular thing. And,
The dude is so dialed
probably-
in, he's gonna be cheating.
Yep.
He's got like a 16-1 KD.
That's bullshit.
I'm not-
Houston.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure I support the whole ideal. It's I don't know.
Well, I'm not 100% sure I support electronic sports sometimes, but
Yeah.
Through that. Some of the things you hear, I'm like, are you serious? What are we doing?
I
Mike-
know.
If you wanted it to be a legit sport, you kind of have to like follow the rules. I understand that they're trying to base it around all the other sports to be tried, to be considered serious.
Right,
But
right.
it's not the same thing either, so you can't do exactly the same thing. It's not going to work.
Yeah.
Well, the whole esports phenomenon, it feels like the gaming community's biggest bet on trying to do something legitimate. Does that make sense?
Hmm.
Like it just feels like whenever people talk about it, they're talking about it in this excited way, like, finally, we'll be taken seriously. And I'm like,
That's
guys, who fucking cares if we're taken seriously? And
It's just
I
video
don't know.
games.
it's if it's important to us,
That's
fuck
all you
what-
need. You'll get the viewers.
exactly.
But I think they're
And-
trying to make it so widespread that they can have an audience on like TV and to get substantial ratings to be self-sufficient. I bet that takes a lot.
Yeah, and
True,
it's like this
uh,
isn't South Korea.
Right, this is not South Korea.
Right.
There was a big Heroes of the Storm tournament that got broadcast on ESPN.
Yeah, I watched some of that actually. It was
Yeah.
weird. They had a lot of casters that casted StarCraft 2. I recognize most of them, and they're really good
Kinda-
casters. They have great announcers and casters. They just don't have
Good.
a
That's
lot
one of the
like-
biggest problems is announcers.
Yes, I mean there are a lot of
Yeah.
shitty casters out there too. But they had
There's great ones, to be sure.
Day
But
9.
like there are a lot Day 9, yeah, fucking Day 9. But there are a lot of
Yeah, they-
casters where it's just like some dude.
Video game play-by-play still needs a lot of work.
I mean, that's a
Really.
difficult thing to do.
Everything's
well-
Twitch based.
Yeah, and I think part of the challenge for me, and to be fair, this is kind of just play-by-play in its nature, is that the way, like when you watch like a fighting game tournament, if you're watching like say Street Fighter tournament, the play-by-play guys are basically speaking a language I don't understand. And like
Right.
I'm playing video games for 25 years, but it's like these guys are talking about like fucking, obviously this is Smash Bros terminology, but like wave dashing and like
They're talking about like the meta game that they assume
yeah,
you
they're
know.
using like really technical lingo, which again I guess is a thing
It's
with
the same
play-by-play now
as-
anyway. Like like Troy Aikman and Joe Buck don't like break down football for the layman when they're calling a Packers game.
Right.
You know,
They're
not
going to talk.
well, see, he's got the ball at the
lingo.
3-yard line. That means, it's like, they're
See, in order to get a first down,
This is what you need to do.
But I also feel like part of the problem with that is like because like esports is trying to like establish itself and because they know it's like a burgeoning thing that needs to attract viewers. I think your announcers need to do at least some kind of competent job in like dumbing down what they're saying a little bit and like helping new people understand it. Because part of the reason they don't have to do that with football is because everyone fucking knows how football works.
It's football, for God's sake.
Yeah. Like,
And that's
It has 100 years on it, like we've been talking about.
no one has to explain baseball to anybody. Like, you turn on a baseball game, the announcers aren't be like, well, if he gets to first base, then he needs to get to 3 more bases and he scores. It's like, it's fucking baseball. You know what this is by now. But it's like no one knows how esports work for the most part. So, like, if I didn't watch much of the ESPN broadcast, but, like, if that fucking Heroes of the Storm tournament was going on, if they weren't, like, dumbing that down a little bit and we're actually just talking in like straight up like MOBA terms the whole time.
Yeah, like God.
Like how is anyone supposed to understand what the fuck is happening? Because like, it doesn't even.
I will say, yeah, I was going to bring that up because they actually did talk about during the game. They would basically be focusing on what was actually happening in the game.
Right.
But before that, like in the pregame and before everybody selected like which hero they're going to play and all that stuff, they would break down each of the maps. Like if it's going to be on this map, let's talk about it. Here's what they're trying to do. Here's like the objective of the thing. And here's how you win. They would break down every round for you, which was
like a
pretty nice.
pregame.
Like the pregame, it would tell you like the whole point of what they're doing.
Because MOBAs in particular, it's obviously becoming a really popular genre in esports, probably the most popular.
Yeah, definitely.
For
that
sure.
one, unlike fighting games, it's really fucking hard to tell who's winning a lot of the time.
Yeah, that's
like,
true.
like just watching the game, you're not even like it's kind of hard to even grasp the aspect of competition if you're just like staring at it, no knowledge at all about what it is. Like if you take someone who has no fucking clue what a video game is and tell them to like watch the Street Fighter Championship, it'll probably take them about 2 seconds to figure out, oh, these two dudes are just fighting each other.
That's
But
You
it's
gotta
like,
get the
if you
bar to
yeah,
go
if you tell
down
them
to
watch,
0.
Like, Conan or Heroes of the Storm, then it's like, okay, wait, who the fuck's doing what? I don't understand this game at all.
Yeah, because
So,
not only you're
that is
tracking
really
more than
important.
2 people, you're tracking 10 people. A 5v5 is a lot harder to figure out what the hell's going on.
Yeah, exactly.
For
It's
sure.
a much more complex thing going on.
Yeah. I mean,
But
they explained all
even
the stuff,
still,
and it
yeah.
still was hard for them to figure out. There was tweets and all that stuff saying, like, I still don't know what the hell's going on, even after they broke it down. So they tried to, but it kind of worked, but there was still a lot of confusion. That's what I've gotten out of that.
shit.
And that's the weird thing about
You know.
esports is like, as opposed, it appeals the most to people who play those games somewhat competitively. I feel right, who kind of understand the lingo because they've played on some tier at least at a competitive nature, as opposed to like football where it's like what people watching probably haven't experienced it as much and then they didn't need to in order to understand the lingo. It's just a different beast, which kind of plays towards the problem that esports is treating gaming like a sport, which it's not, right? I mean, it's the closest like comparison that they're able to make, so that's why they're going after it. But it needs to be treated like something that's never been done before, because it is. And that's going to be difficult. I don't know how the fuck to do that, so I can't really complain that much.
Yeah.
'Cause I don't have a solution.
But these are just hurdles that they're going to have to get over. I mean,
Absolutely.
one football game is like 2 hours-ish, right? Like max. Well,
like 3
Possibly more, yeah.
possibly more, depending on like the Super Bowl and all that stuff notwithstanding, right? But like your
Or
standard,
what the fuck, yeah.
a normal round in like a Heroes of the Storm game would be like 30 minutes. That's a long ass round. But you're doing a tournament that lasts like 10 hours. Like each one, it's a best of 3 sometimes for one round. So that'll last for hours and hours out. How are you supposed to keep so many people's attention that long?
Yeah, I think that's a big thing with video games too. Is that in order for esports to kind of be taken seriously, you really do need to get to this point where you really can engross a community of people for a long period of time. You know, it is a lot like what the NFL does. And like what college basketball does in March, where they kind of like make it a big deal to like watch all day. Like with March Madness, there are tournament games going on from like 11 o'clock in the morning until like 10 o'clock at night, and it's like huge fans of the game are watching the entire time. with the NFL, every Sunday games start at noon and the last one ends at like 10:30. So it's like hardcore football fans are sitting in front of their TV watching football all day. With these big video game tournaments, it kind of needs to be the same way. It's like when the big annual fighting game tournaments come along, you need to be able to engross your audience to watch Smash Bros for the entire afternoon and like see how the winner and loser brackets all pan out, and, like the whole shebang.
Right. Exactly.
But it is also cool that the little bite-size increments are easier to digest than at least major sports in that regard. Like if you're watching a fighting game tournament, and say if to use a sports parallel here, say you have like a favorite fighter, it's like, oh yeah, my favorite guy is XX Pussyhound XX69.
It sounds like
a fortunate gamer.
420 blaze it.
Unlike actual sports where it's like, I'm a fan of the Packers, I have to give up 3 hours of my Sunday to watch their game. Pussyhound over here has like 4 or 5, 10, 15-minute fights over the course of the day, which isn't as much of your time to commit to if you're just into watching him. But that's not really what esports is as much. I don't think there's a whole lot of people who just like follow one dude as much as the people who follow the actual like community.
That's one problem.
Not until it's established itself anyway. Like as it is now, nobody's gonna know who you are. But if you can actually make it enough to where you actually have a fan base, certain people I think will start to stand out among the rest.
If you the thing about the fan base, though, in continuing with like the sports analogy, is a person who comes into it obviously expecting like a sports atmosphere doesn't know who the fuck to root for, and they're used to like hometown kind of thinking or state or something like that. Like you root for the Chiefs and the Royals because you live in Missouri. Who the fuck do you root for?
I mean, what I usually do when I'm watching Smash Bros. Tournaments is I cheer for the people who use the characters I like. So like if someone's doing a Smash tournament in Zero Suit, I'm like, I'm cheering for that guy because that's my character.
Right. See, I would totally do that, but nobody's playing as Ice Climbers or Game & Watch. So.
Ice Climbers don't even exist.
Chris, maybe there's a reason for that. Maybe
Game & Watch is the greatest, and all of you are stupid.
Poor Chris.
But yeah, I mean, that's basically all I could use, but then, if you have people who don't really play, like jumping in, it's like they don't even have that. It's like I don't play Smash Bros. How do I decide what to cheer for?
So it's hard to have the motivation to watch it other than I like Smash Brothers. You pretty much have to already know it.
I mean, in that sense, it would be like the only people who really get into football games are people who actually played football. That's not fucking true at all.
Right, exactly. That's
they root for it because it's the home team, right?
Which you can't really have when your team consists of people who come from all over the world. It's kind of hard to do that. And most esports teams are based in like the same city or country or whatever.
Which is a cool thing, maybe they should play that up more,
Absolutely, totally.
If they want to try and draw attention, is especially like bring up where teams are formed and based, or like in fighting tournaments, like really kind of like analyze the player himself and be like, this guy did 4 years at the University of Cal, and he was born in fucking San Diego, and
well, I mean, shit. Think
of on the beach and chocolate ice cream. And it's like shit. I like chocolate ice cream.
I like chocolate ice cream.
Weighing in at a massive 130 pounds.
Maybe they need to start like making an effort to kind of like sell the players, because I don't see a lot of that when I'm like watching stuff on Twitch. They don't really talk about the people behind the characters as much. They talk about like how they are with those characters. Like, oh yeah, Pussyhound is one of the best foxes on the scene right now. He's got some really good wave dashing technique, and his blaster's super hot.
You're thinking,
but, it's like I don't know. Who is Pussyhound?
What's he doing on
What's his motivation? Give me a sob story about how.
Why does he fight? Does he fight for his friends?
I need an American Idol montage of where he came from.
Yeah, I mean, shit. That's how you get people to watch those fucking reality shows. Is American Idol puts together those packages, like makes you like feel for that person, and you're like, I want to see this person succeed, and that's why I'm going to keep watching. That's like basic reality TV shit, right? Like Survivor has been on for 20 years, 10 years. Plus, it's all about that. It's all about like establishing people and giving you a reason to cheer for them. I don't think esports does that.
Like making a kind of Olympics of sort where countries compete could get more people's attention, because I mean,
that'd be fucking sweet.
Well, I mean, like soccer.
Video game Olympics.
God knows nobody gives a shit about soccer here until we started to win
in the world. Yeah, when we
started. What do you want to say?
Unless it's women's soccer, of which case I think the U.S. is like the 4-time defending
Champion.
world champion, and everyone's just kind
Fucking
of
awesome.
passively aware of
You know,
it.
patriotism is a really easy way to get people into shit.
Absolutely.
If you did something like that, and just say you did Heroes of the Storm World Cup, and it's like, oh shit, Team America's in the quarterfinals or whatever. It sounds stupid, but that probably gets at least a couple people interested.
Probably.
Right, and it's probably versus
they're like,
South
oh
Korea.
shit, we're really good at this game.
Yeah,
Probably South Korea, yeah.
Korea.
Yeah, I mean, we're up in South Korea, Japan, and
Right.
China.
Not us.
But yeah,
Yeah.
to do that, you'd have to get a whole lot more countries playing the game. I know Europe has a decent player base, too, if they could capitalize on that some more. But
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, you can start small. If you can just put together an 8-country tournament or some shit.
why not pull in the
There's
bracket?
I just found out about this year. Did you guys know there's an American Football World Cup? There's actually a World Championship for American football.
Yeah.
And They
the
put together
Americans-
10-team this year's tournament was 10 teams, and we won really fucking easily, and no one you've ever heard of was playing on our team. There's
Andrew,
even a
what were
rule
the
with Team
scores
USA
on
where
those games?
if you played professional football, you can't play on Team USA. So we basically won with a bunch of scrubs who can't even play in our professional football leagues because we're the only country who gives a damn about this sport.
Right.
And it's
Probably
if there could be an American Football World Championship, why can't there be like a Dota World Championship or a League of Legends one? It's just we basically forced our sport onto 10 other countries just so we could prove we actually are the best at it.
And we did.
you know,
And we did.
and we did.
There's a World
sure
Cricket
did.
Tournament, and Britain whoops everybody else's ass. I mean, I'm sure that is the...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it looks like at this American World Football Championship, to look at the scores is embarrassing. There was a Mexico-France game that was 20-7, but then you look at some of the American sports or American scores, and it's 43-18, 59-12. There was a game where Brazil played South Korea, and Brazil scored 28 points to South Korea's 0. Here's the creme de la creme of it. America and France in the final, or the semis, played 82-0. America wins.
Dominated.
See, when you do that sort of thing, though, I feel like it's just making the other countries just not want to play our game anymore.
This is why other people
It's
hate
like
America,
the
right?
friend who's like, you got to play this game, man, and then he just trounces you in it. It's like,
Yeah.
no, that was a lot of fun. It's like, I fucking hate this game.
No,
Stop making me
you
play it.
suck so much, man. It's
I'm never playing this again.
It's the
No,
little
man.
brother
No, it's just
mentality.
You'll get better.
it's can you imagine if we actually if this was a tournament with real credibility, okay, in the World Cup, everyone takes their best players regardless of their actual profession, puts them on the field. So we take people from MLS and put them on our team. The English actually take people from their professional leagues and put them on the World Cup team because that World Cup's a big deal. The American Football World Cup is oh no, don't bother Tom Brady. Let's call up Brett Favre's nephew and he'll quarterback for us. That's true. Favre's nephew was on the team.
Wow.
But
Close enough.
Your audio's doing something weird.
Yeah, your audio's
legitimate
bugging out.
competition people actually cared about. And we put together a team based on the best players we have in the NFL. 82-0 would be a bad game for us.
Oh shit, we didn't hit our 200 mark? Damn.
Yeah, exactly. It would be fucking laughable. We have to use players no one knows about just to make the games look even remotely competitive.
Your audio's
Your
really
audio is
bugging out, by the way.
freaking out, by the
Ladies and
way.
gentlemen, Andrew has been replaced by a cyborg.
I am.
Yeah, it's still doing it.
I don't know. Maybe it's time we wrap this up.
I suppose.
Yeah.
This has been productive, I think.
That's good. We actually got to a conversation after
We did,
a
yeah.
while.
After dicking around and playing
Look,
with
we
settings.
some stuff.
True that.
Fantastic.
How long do we go for anyway?
Yeah, how
I have
long
no
was
idea.
it?
Maybe 40 minutes or so. I have a ghost cat face. I'm going to roll with that. So, thank you for being a part of the Work in Progress video podcast thing that just happened.
Ian, you just you look like you can't handle it. You're just what the fuck is going on? Who's this robot?
I
Where's it
can't.
going, Andrew?
Robot cat.
So yeah,
in the 40s.
yeah, there's just gonna be more of this sometime, I guess. Just keep an eye on our YouTube page, and hopefully this wasn't too terrible. Say bye, everybody.
Hopefully we'll fix the audio.
Bye,
Bye,
everybody.
everybody.
Bye.
Bye.